What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law, and we are going to talk about the Indianapolis Colts real quick. Got to shout out some people. All right, Gardaki, what's going on? Appreciate you being in here. Carl, hey, my guy. Good to see you in here as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I have watched 6 games now. Today, I have watched 6 games of the Raiders game. All right. 6. Yesterday, I went through 3 different all 22 films that I was going over from the Colts the last 3 weeks. And I am realizing right now that this game against the Raiders is all about want. It's all about, do you want to win this more than the Raiders do? All right, because the Colts, it's not about whether they have the talent. I think the Colts absolutely have the talent to do it. They just have to want to go out and win. And that's the thing, right? What's going on, John? Appreciate you being in here. Look, here's the deal. All right, first off, I want to make an exception real quick. The video I posted earlier, I said that Marcus Peters was on their team. He is not. I did not now I looked up on our lads depth chart and it said Marcus Peters was there. And then and then on Google, it says Marcus Peters is there. Now, he's been released, right? And he was, Jack Jones was grabbed from, I think, New England. I'm not 100% sure. And he's the guy that got the pick 6 against the Chiefs, right? Again, bad throw, bad decision by Patrick Mahomes on that pick 6. But Jack Jones made the play, got the interception, returned for the 6. So I'm not taking away anything from him on that. It's just Patrick Mahomes threw it inside directly to his receiver on a timing throw, on a comeback route. He waited too late, about a half a second too late before he threw it. Plus, he threw it right at him rather than throwing it towards the outside to where Jack would have less of a chance to get the ball. Either way, you know what? That's neither here nor there because this is about the Raiders and the Colts. And I've noticed a lot of stuff. I noticed a lot of stuff about the Raiders game. First off, this Raiders team is fast defensively. They are incredibly fast, right? They're not very physical, but they're incredibly fast. And if the Colts want to beat this team, they have to play to their strengths and pretty much exactly the same way they have been playing all year, where, they've been getting stuffed on power runs up the gut. They should not get stuffed on power runs against the gut on the Raiders. All right. There should be massive holes opening up. And, Jonathan Taylor should have plenty of room to run. Just don't get freaky with play calling. Be straight up. Let your offensive line know what their job is and go out there and manhandle them. That's all they got to do because they're all about speed. They're about getting in the backfield, creating disruption, and pressuring the quarterback. We should be able to run power formations against the Raiders all day. And if they clog up the hole or try to stop that, that's when you can take your shots. Or that's also when you can go ahead and do the, play action screen plays with your tight ends and running backs, right? That's another option because of how quick these edges come off with Kuntz and Crosby off the edges. So I feel like this is a game the Indianapolis Colts could absolutely win because, quite frankly, the Raiders' offense has been absolutely garbage. All right. I'm watching the Chiefs. Aiden O'Connell, his ball is all over the daggone place. He was 9 of 21 and probably had 3 balls that should have been picked off. 3. All right. I mean, hit defenders right in the hands, nowhere near the receiver, right? Nowhere near the receiver. And it was dropped, right? I feel like the Colts in a zone. Now, the big thing is you got to get pressure on Aiden, okay? Force him to make those bad throws. This is the want-to from Gus Bradley. This is the want-to from Gus Bradley. Gus has to make a decision. How bad does he want this team to make the playoffs? Okay? I understand you want to sit back in your zone and rush 4. And sometimes that works, sometimes that don't. Sometimes your front four can get early pressure, sometimes they can't. If you can't get early pressure, if you're noticing you're not getting early pressure on the first drive of the game, you better start dialing up some freaking blitzes, okay? Because I feel like Aiden O'Connell does not deal with blitzes very well at all. He showed it against the Chiefs, all right? I feel like this is an absolutely. What's going on, 2 cents? This ain't even. We already beat the Steelers. Why are you guys even here? No, I appreciate you being in here. It's all good. No, Pittman is a go. Sorry. What's up, Button? No, Pittman is a go. Pittman is a go. The problem is number 2. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He played the last couple of weeks while Pittman was out. He got hurt, so that's the thing. You can't be afraid. You're absolutely right, Gardaki. Can't be afraid. And yes, that's what I'm talking about. Max Crosby and Kuntz, both. All right, both these guys, they come off the edge. They're relentless, and they come off with a lot of speed. But you could power run right in their direction. Or you could let them come up the field and throw screen passes right past them. You could do that and do that effectively. Use their aggressiveness against them. You can do that. But you can't be afraid at all against this offense, all right? Because, look, Josh Jacobs ain't there. Their other, was it White, I think his name is, the running back, had a pretty good game against the Chiefs, but that was because there was holes opened up. And we play zone, all right? Chiefs play man. They ran schemes to where there was, once he got past the line of scrimmage, there was just open space and spots. You're not going to have that against the zone. What the zone, defensively, you got to want it, right? You got to want it. You got to make tackles. You can't have 23 missed tackles against this team because, again, they're fast. Okay, they are fast. So this game is all about want to. Don't make stupid mistakes. Don't create penalties. Go out there with the idea of just being more physical, out physicaling the Raiders on both sides of the ball because they're not a physical team. They are a speed team all the way around. Remember how New England used to bully us around when we were, back in the 2000s and 2010s when we had a bunch of speed with Peyton Manning and Harrison and Wayne and all that. It was all about speed. And yet, and same with our defense in New England, what they do, they just ran the ball. They went out there with 6, 7 offensive linemen, just ran it down our throats. That's all we got to do to the Raiders. That's what the Colts need to be focused on. So, yeah. That's how I feel about this game. You just got to want. Devontae Adams has been not good this year, right? His catch percentage has not been great. His yak yards hasn't been great. He's not had that kind of year that you normally would have. I understand, he hasn't played a secondary like the Colts where it's just, he has, the Chargers secondary has been bait up, and they did score 63, I think it was, against the Chargers. So I get where you're coming from there. But I feel like our secondary is getting a little bit better. All right, better and better as the weeks go on. I think we could do okay against this Raiders. I think if we play our game, we blow the Raiders out. If we do not play our game and don't go out there and play physical on both sides of the ball, we're going to lose this damn game. Okay? Gus Bradley's got to make sure he gets pressure. If that pressure does not work with the front four, he's got to send blitzes. Now, he doesn't have to send 60% blitzes like he did against the Ravens, right? But I want to see more than 3 in a game, all right? Maybe once a drive, twice a drive, something like that. Something just to stop them. You see them in 3rd and 5 or longer, send a blitz, damn it. You got to send a blitz. I fully 100% agree with you here, Dyer. 100% agree with you. You got to get there. You got to get there. We can't turn the football over. All right. The Raiders like to create problems, especially when it comes to pressure on the quarterback. They get after the quarterback. They create, strip sacks. They make quarterbacks throw early. They hassled Patrick Mahomes all game last week. All game. And they do that very, very well. But when they played screenplays against this Raider, those screenplays that they utilized turned out big yardage. All right. Now, there was miscues on some of those screenplays where it's just a bad throw or a drop pass. Even Travis Kelce dropped a damn screenplay once. One screenplay he got was like 20-some yards. The other screenplay, he dropped, right? Whereas he probably could have got some yardage out of it. I think we just do this. Yes. It's what I'm saying. It's because they play fast. It's because they play fast. They don't play super physical, but they are a very, very fast defense. You just have to bully them right at the line of scrimmage. Got to bully them. You can't come out in this game and try to be cute with your play calling, right? You go out there in power formations and you try to run it right down their throats. That's how you beat this team. 100%. Guys, please appreciate each and every one of you. I got everybody who is part of my Patreon right here. I just dropped the Patreon-only film room talking about how the defense looked against the Falcons. Just dropped it 2 days ago, right? For Patreon only. Guys, only $5 a month. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee. You get all the excess materials that I get that I put for Patreon only. Plus, on Wednesdays, now I didn't have a Patreon only live stream this week because holidays, but I will pick it back up next week. And don't forget, if you want to donate, feel free, use the link in the description of the video, and I'll just drop it right here as well. You can see that as well. Guys, I appreciate all of you guys. You guys have been absolutely freaking fantastic. I've already got the stream, my live game reaction stream up ready for tomorrow. Make sure that you click on that and set a reminder or whatnot, because it's going to be big. This game is so important for both teams. So important for both teams. Raiders have to win out to make the playoffs, right? To even have a shot. Plus, they need help. All right, a lot of help to make the playoffs, but they got to win out. The Colts, they can win out and not make the playoffs. They can lose out and still make the playoffs. It's weird how this is all set up right now. All right, but this is a conference game, very important, and you got to do what you got to do, right? Who wants it more? Does the Raiders want it more? Or do the Colts want it more? That's the thing. That's the big thing. So, the thing that I like a lot is Braden Smith. All right. I love Braden Smith coming back for this game because I want Braden Smith over Freeland all day, every day, especially against Max Crosby. Now, Max will play on the left side, not just the right side now. Plays the left side about 20% of the time. But Braden Smith is much better against the rush. Plus, Braden is incredibly strong at the point of attack in the run game. So, I like our offensive line. We're finally going to have all of our starters on the offensive line. That's going to be great. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Fulton Miraz wants to know what my New Year's resolution is. That's a tough one. See, here's the deal. Right now, my New Year's resolution is not lose my house because I am way behind on my mortgage payment. So either I'm going to put out 2 videos every day, or I have to go find another job. I got to do something. All right, I've been trying to make this my full-time job, and I've been going about it wrong. I've been doing a lot of film work, studying other teams more than I have dropping videos because I want my content to be quality, right? And I did make a mistake in my earlier one, like I said, about Marcus Peters, because I've been watching games. I haven't actually looked at the news, right? I just figured he ain't been there the last couple games because he was hurt. But no, he was actually released. All right. Thank you to the Raiders fans who informed me, and I went back and did my research on that and found out they are right. Obviously, they're fans. Appreciate that. Thank you a lot. But I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta make sure that my wife and kid have a roof over their heads. So either I'm going to put out a lot more videos every day, or I gotta take a full-time job. But I got a month to come up with about $800. So we'll see what happens. But I was hoping that this Christmas I would be able to get something, but it didn't turn out the way I hoped. Right. But it is what it is. But hey, here's the deal. Last year, JT, 147 yards and a touchdown, 22 carries. Yes. But again, we'll see what happens. Right. Also, last year and the years prior, every time we played the Raiders lately, it's been Derek Carr, right, as the quarterback. And I feel like Carr was good against zone defense and has been. Aiden O'Connell is not Derek Carr. All right. Derek Carr is a better quarterback. Easily. Now, Aiden O'Connell's got a stronger arm. I'll give him that. He could cannon that ball all the way down the field. He's got a weird, release. It's like he cocks it straight back and then straight forward rather than, doing the swing and then forward. He cocks it straight back and then straight forward. It's a weird release. It's not something that I'm used to seeing at the NFL level. You see maybe 2 or 3 quarterbacks every year that do that, but most of the time you'll see more of a swing motion. It's easier on your elbow and your shoulder for the release. So we'll see how that ends up turning out. Fulton, hey, you're getting engaged with Caitlin. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. We were in the same spot we're in right now 2 years ago. Anthony says, yes, I know. I think we all know that. But I like the depth on this year's team than what we had in the 2021 season, right? I think we have more talent on this team. I think I actually like our quarterback right now more than I like Carson Wentz, because right now Gardner Minshew has not been that turnover guy, right? He's not been making those what the F throws and plays that we saw week 6, week 7, right? He's cut those back dramatically. Patrick Mahomes has more interceptions, fumbles than Gardner Minshew does right now at the season, right? What? Yes, that is a fact. Go look it up. You add fumbles and interceptions, put them together, and Patrick Mahomes has more than Gardner Minshew. That's a stat a lot of you probably did not realize. But it is what it is. Let's see what happens. I have a really good feeling about this. Again, the only thing that worries me is something that I think offensively, I think we move the ball and we score, right? But defensively, Gus Bradley worries me a little bit. If he's not getting the pressure early on, he better do something to find a way to get the pressure. Against a rookie quarterback, you got to do it, who's not playing well, right? But I'm excited. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. At this part of the year, it is all about want. It's all, and it's not just coaches. It's about players. The players have to want to, right? You hear Donald, my co-host over on Believe, you hear him talking about checking out at the end of the year, already making plans to go, on vacation for winter and stuff like that, get in, warmer areas, things of that nature. You can't have that. You can't have that if you want to make the playoffs. And we'll find out against the Raiders. If our offensive line is coming off with pop, if our defensive line is aggressively trying to get in the backfield, then I see us. Then I see us actually out there fighting. Watch Jonathan Taylor run. Now, here's the thing. I've never once seen Jonathan Taylor give up on any run. He's always kept those legs churning and tried to power through. Even when there's not a hole there, he's always churning and trying to find a way to get some kind of yardage. I expect him to play tough. The offensive line has to do that as well. Defensive line, especially in the third quarter. Hey, you got to get out there. You got to play as though it's still the first quarter, right? Come in this game every down like you're down 2 scores and you're fighting to make a comeback. Even if you're up 2 scores, you got to have that mentality at this point of the year if you want to make the playoffs. And that's the biggest thing right now, right? That is by far the biggest thing. But I think it could be, John. I think it could be. We'll see what happens though. No, Freeland is not starting Sunday. It is Braden Smith, which I am excited about. I'm very excited that Braden Smith is. Now it says that he's questionable, but Frank, oh my goodness, please forgive me. I said Frank. Shane Steichen already mentioned that he is good, and if you're good, you're going to start. So he said that about both Pittman and Braden Smith. So that's all I need to know. All I need to know. Now, Trevor Lawrence this week has been benched. C.J. Beathard will be playing. If I remember correctly, will be the starting quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. And then, of course, the Texans will be playing as well. So Indy really, really, really needs to win this game to stay in the playoff race. And if all we need is the Jags to lose, right? That's all we need is the Jags to lose and us to win, and we take the lead in the division. And then what's weird, and I'm almost kind of hoping for this, if the Jags lose and the Colts and Texans both win, the next week Colts-Texans game will probably be Sunday Night Football. Because if I'm not mistaken, it'll be the only game that will decide a division championship. Right? I remember going through and looking at them. I think there's a chance that the Miami-Buffalo one could as well. But Buffalo has to win, Miami has to lose this week for that to happen. If it doesn't, and both the Texans and the Colts win, or, any two of the three, to be honest with you, if the Colts and Jaguars win, Texans lose, or Jaguars, Texans win, Colts lose, as long as you have 2 winners and 1 loser, that's going to be big. But to have a head-to-head matchup to decide the division on the very last week with 2 tied football teams, that would be really fun. Now, as analysts and fans, we can talk about that. Obviously, the Colts, the players, the coaches, they don't even think about that. They're thinking about this upcoming game period, end of story, right? Because it's this game or no game. You got to win this game. So that's how we work with it. We don't have Wentz on our team, right? The good thing also that I've noticed is when we do lose a game, like remember when we lost 3 weeks ago and we were like, oh, this looked bad. Come right back, face the Pittsburgh Steelers and whooped them. And I'm telling you, the Steelers and the Raiders are very similar teams in where they are, skill position wise. They have a lot of speed on the edge. They got speed at wide receiver, that kind of stuff. Questionable quarterback play. We whooped the hell out of the Steelers. And then we lost badly to the Falcons. So I'm expecting a bounce back game because that is something Shane Steichen has really done well, has helped us bounce back from bad losses. Well, we can't say that no more, Gardocki, because we beat them, 2 weeks ago. So that's nice, right? So we'll see what's going on. 26 minutes in. I appreciate you guys. Have you smashed that like button yet? I'd appreciate it if you haven't, to go ahead and do so. Helps out with the analytics. So, what's up, Basil? Finally popping in here, having a nice time. I've already went through my rant on how the Colts need to approach this game. And that was my whole idea of this stream in the first place, was to talk about that. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I changed the live chat. You have to be subscribed now in order to chat, right? So I did that for you guys. That way people just can't come in and start dropping chats in there out of nowhere. You got to be subscribed for at least 1 minute, right? So I figured that'll help. Oh, I'm sure you'll go back. What's up, Chaz? Appreciate you being in here. All right. So what do you guys want to talk about? What do you guys want to talk about? Because I've already went on my rant today. And I got to prepare for tomorrow. So I figure I could hang for a few more minutes, answer some questions. Like I said, I went through the film, went through the Atlanta Falcons game, and it was just bad. It was just bad tackling, bad angles, bad everything. Dropped the film room for my Patreon. Yeah. It was Patreon only, but yeah. Let's talk about the Texans game and Jags game. Who are they playing? All right. Interesting. I'll tell you what. Let's go drop in the schedules real quick. Texans and the Titans. Titans at the Texans. That could be an interesting game, believe it or not. I think Ryan Tannehill's playing in that game. And, the Jaguars are hosting the Panthers. So I still, even with C.J. Beathard at quarterback, I think that they beat the hell out of the Panthers, but especially at home. But we'll see. Wish everyone a Happy New Year. Absolutely, Charles. Happy New Year to you, too. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. That'd be awesome. Now, I really do think that C.J. Beathard is not a bad quarterback. I really don't. I don't think. How do you think Cross played against the Raiders? We need him to fill. Played or will play, Tina? That's a good question. How do I think he will play? He will be physical and fast, but I'm hoping that his inexperience doesn't put him in situations where he is climbing up when he should be dropping back, because in, a lot of our zone defenses, we've seen multiple times where our safeties have got burnt, and that's how we've, given up big plays, is because the safeties were climbing up, more worried about the inside or, underneath routes rather than worrying about the big play shots downfield. I hope Cross keeps an eye on that. I know Blackman's got a lot of interceptions this year, but he's also given up a lot of big plays, and that worries me a lot. But well, I don't know. Yeah, we need Kenny Moore. I'm sure he'll play. He's questionable. It's not a doubtful. It's a questionable. We'll see what happens though. But questionable means we'll probably play. Doubtful means we'll probably not play. So we don't have anyone doubtful. We only have one guy that's out. So that's good. I absolutely okay. So here's the deal. A lot of people wanted the Colts to lose out. Chaz drops here. Wanted the Colts to lose out after we lost AR so they could build through the draft and blah, blah, blah. Winning games. I've talked to a lot of players about this, and even Donald said something about this. Winning games late in the season builds character for players. Okay? Getting in the postseason, even if you lose in the wild card round, gives your entire team playoff experience. We have a young team with a lot of guys who's never even been in the playoffs. We have some leaders on the team that have, like DeForest Buckner and guys like that. But we have a lot of team guys who's never made the playoffs because of how young we are. So that experience in the playoffs will build a better team for the future as well, right? Because they'll know how to handle things differently. Because playing in the playoffs is not the same as playing in the regular season. Players say these things are so much different, right? Everything is more crisp. Everything, the lights are brighter. It is a very tangible difference playing in the playoffs than it is playing in the regular season. So I would rather them get the experience, even if they lose in the wild card round. I'd rather them get some success through the season, build their confidence, and get playoff experience. And then, you still got an off season. You're still going to have a draft. We still have our first round, second round, third round pick, all that stuff. Wait, I don't think we have a third round pick. But either way, we can still do it. Absolutely, we could still do it. But our mindset has to change this week as a team. There's no more trying to save yourself physically for the end of the season, because it's the end of the season. You have to go out there and put your whole body on the line, on the field, leave nothing out, right? At this point, you have to have that mindset, because it is win or go home for the Indianapolis Colts. And we'll find out tomorrow how much of our team has that mindset and who doesn't. It's going to be up to the leadership, like Gardner Minshew, who has playoff experience, right? DeForest Buckner, who has playoff experience, right? It's going to be up to guys like that. Quentin Nelson, right? Jonathan Taylor, he's got a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit. He's been to playoffs once. I think it was his rookie year, right? Might have been his second year. Either way, these leaders have to go out there and get the rest of the team, the young guys, in the right mindset to win games. Okay. Chuck wants to know about the Ogletree situation. I am going to leave that out. The Indianapolis Colts are in the process of doing an investigation. The commissioner dropped him on his exempt list. The Colts have not released him, which tells me that there is more to the story than what has been said. Because if it was automatically, oh, he did all this stuff, and the way Ballard and Shane Steichen has handled the team this year, just automatically releasing people in bad situations. If it was cut and clear and dry, Ogletree, I feel like, would have already been gone. Right? Because of the way they have been cleaning house this year. So I'm leaving my judgment open. I'm not going to judge the dude on the fact that he was arrested, because allegations and arrest, that's one thing, but we don't know the situation. So we'll see what happens. That's how I feel. But guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. It's been 36 minutes. I think I'm going to go. No, I am not wondering, Colts fan, about McKenzie and Brown. It's in the past. I'm done. I moved on. They're not on the team no more. I'm not going to waste my energy wondering what happened. I'm just not. If I happen to hear or see or someone tells me, I'll let y'all know. But I'm not going to waste energy on somebody that's no longer on the team and will not be on the team anymore. But whatever. Appreciate y'all. I think I'm going to jump out of here. Appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law. And as usual, I want you to have a good one. See you tomorrow.